What's up, everybody? I am Travesty.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And welcome back to another episode of this freaking show. It is the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. The same weekly podcast that is brought to you by CarterComics.com. Guys, if you are looking to build your comic book collection or create a comic book collection because you're new to the comic book world, then you need to go to the right place. You need to go to the place that has so many comics, it's hard to even go through. It's hard to even find the exact words how to describe the amount of comics that this place has. I guess it's not really, is it a place? It's a website? This dude needs a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Say it, Joe. Say it.
Brick and mortar.
Thank you. He needs one of those. He needs a store. You know? That way I can say, like, this is the place to go to. Because, I guess you could say, like, the website is the place to go to, but you're not really going to it, in the sense of actually going.
Mm-hmm.
But Carter Comics is the best place to go to get all your comic needs. Anything from raw, readable, sitting on the toilet and thumbing through the pages kind of comics, or those lovely graded ones that you can stick up on the wall and say, I got a 9.0 original Spider-Man number, 87942 from, the spring of 96, however they do fucking comics.
Right.
I should really learn how those numbers work. I need to really dive into this comic book world. I've been saying this for, what are we going on? We're going on like 7 years now?
Something like that.
Yeah, 6.5 years. This podcast is as old as my dog.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Isn't that enjoyable? God.
It's a good dog.
He is a good dog. He's I hate to have to, like, shut him out of the room, like, when I record and stuff, but I don't need the asshole in here squeaking lamb chop and rattling his collar. If he didn't do that, he could be in here with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has no sense of, Travesty's working. I should probably not do this. No. It's probably just like, pay attention to me, or however dogs sound. I don't know. I've never heard a dog talk yet. But go to CarterComics.com. Check out all their amazing products. CarterComics.com. Dr. Doug has all your comic needs. Sign up for the Carter Comic Club. Okay, listen to this. And this isn't going off anywhere from the advertisement. This is involved in the advertisement. I have heard from Dr. Doug himself that they may actually call it the Carter Comic Club.
Nice.
Right?
They're calling it that.
Yeah. He says they're going to work it out. They may start calling it the Carter Comic Club. Not just signing up for the website, but it may be called the Carter Comic Club. So you're welcome. This is why the checks are justified, because I create things out of my random banter. The things are like, well, people sit there and they tell you, Travesty, you need more structure. You need to find a, create a template and just move forward, to keep everything organized. Fuck that. Because Carter Comic Club didn't come from organization and an idea of what you're going to do. Hell, the only reason I know what we're going to talk about on this show today is for the few minutes we talked before the show and an epiphany I had a couple days ago about I finally figured out my biggest fear in the world. And we're going to talk about that today, too.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah. Yes, but before we get to all that, I do got to finish the CarterComics.com plug. Because apparently I dragged those out way too long, too. But I just keep bouncing around, and I really should stop doing that. But structure. I don't need structure here on the show. Okay. The Carter Comic Pick of the Week is the Miss Marvel #1, Volume 4, graded at a 9.4, a John Tyler Christopher action figure variant. The internationally beloved, butt-kicking, smack-talking, most adorable superhero makes her triumphant return. Look out, world. Kamala Khan is back and officially an Avenger. Yep. The dream to end all dreams has happened for Kamala. She's toe-to-toe with the best of the best, but will being one of the Earth's mightiest heroes be everything she imagined? Is being a celebrity hero as wonderful as Kamala has hoped? And I love how, we're starting to kind of, communicate a lot more as far as, picks of the week to kind of be more, relatable to, what's going on in the world today, because I do believe Miss Marvel comes out this week.
I believe you're right.
Yeah. I think, well, it's either this week based on the recording or last week based on when I release this.
Mm.
I don't know. Check Disney Plus. If it's there, hey, go watch it. If it's not there, just wait. So, Miss Marvel.
Oh, well, I can tell you right now, episode 1 is available.
Available right now.
Yep.
Cool. At the time of this recording, it's available. By the time it's released, you've missed it already. Go back and watch it. I just finished Moon Knight, by the way.
Ooh, what'd you think?
You know what? Confused.
Fair.
Very, very, very confused. And the thing is, like, I don't know enough about Moon Knight to be like, okay, this TV show makes sense.
Right?
Because Moon Knight wasn't one of those that, like, you grew up and, like, like, oh, I want the Moon Knight action figure. Because he wasn't Iron Man or Captain America or Thor or Spider-Man or Wolverine. So it's like, so I'm trying to follow it, and for those of you who haven't watched it and shit, fuck it, I'm going to talk about it real quick. I was confused by this 2 personalities. You throw in a third one, I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I get, because you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not ruining it for you. Okay, cool.
Nope.
Because I'm glad that they, understood, or they explained why the one personality was there. The British one. I get that. I don't know where the fuck the third one came from. I don't understand all this shit. I guess the god that, is inhabiting, I don't know all their fucking names. I can't remember them, but it doesn't matter either. The god who's inhabiting the split personality dude's body, I guess is a villain, apparently. I don't know. He's just coming off as a villain. Or, you know what? He could just be like every other vigilante in the world and just doing God's will. Because is there really any difference between Punisher and Thanos?
Arguably. I mean, yeah, I would argue that there's a difference, but I hear what you're saying.
But if you just look at their mindset on why they do what they do.
Oh, yeah, no.
So, right?
Well,
so how do you
vengeance versus a weird eugenicist thing.
Okay, so I guess the only thing they're relatable on is their self-justification of murder.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that. So this god who's inhabited today, he just has a self-justification of murder.
Yep.
I really want that to be the title of this show, but I don't know if it would go over well.
Might be confusing.
Right? I'd probably get like some kind of like upper government, like law enforcement phone call, like, did you recently put out a show called Justification Murder? Self-justification murder. Yes, I did. No, but, so I guess like at first I was like, I really don't know how I feel about this. Confused the fuck on me. It was like I was watching an M. Night Shyamalan fucking movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if somebody came up and said, well, M. Night Shyamalan directed this, I'd be like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. So, I am excited to see season 2. I mean, I am. I really just need to make sure I focus and dive in and finish these actual series, like, when they come out, instead of like going back, because like I just finished Loki, maybe a few days before I finished Moon Knight, and that's been out forever. I still haven't finished Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I still haven't either.
I couldn't get into that one.
Same.
And like it wasn't anything against Falcon in it. I was more just let down about Winter Soldier in it, because now he just went soft. I was just like, it's like, that's not the Winter Soldier I want. Like, I want an ass kicker. I want a guy. I want a self-justification of murder type guy. I want a badass.
Yeah.
I want the guy who tore through the streets and started shooting everything up. Not the guy who's buying fruit in some third world country no one ever heard of. No, fuck that guy. But, Kamala, Marvel, what is it? It's just called Miss Marvel, right? That's the name of the show?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Miss Marvel came out. It is available, Disney Plus. Check it out. How do you feel about the once a week release over the complete release and binge watching?
I'm of two minds. I like having something to do every week that I know is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something about that that's nice. And
Yeah.
like the fact I actually did miss to some extent the water cooler conversation, right? Like we all watched the episode within the same time period, and so we can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, I hate waiting. I hate it.
Yeah.
I just want to, especially for like something I really am into. I want to watch it all at once. I don't want to wait. So I
It
don't know.
makes sense. No, it makes sense to me. Like I think I'm in the same boat as you. Is like I mean, like it's nice to like I love the binge watching in the sense that like I love that I could see everything at once and I don't gotta worry about like, oh shit, what happened 4 or 5 weeks ago to make this relevant or anything like that. Like I like the idea of like, I could watch, I could take a whole Sunday and watch an entire like season of an episode like in one go and be happy. But at the same time, like once you watch that, like God, no, I guess no. Well, no, that doesn't commute. Never mind. Because Peacemaker, I think, came out weekly. But it's like when you watch like everything all at once, now you gotta wait an entire year before the next season of it comes out.
Yeah, which I do hate also.
Yeah, so that's what sucks. Because like once you like burn through everything, it's like awesome. When's the next season come out? And you Google it, it's like, oh, it's not coming out until April of 2023. You're like, what the fuck? No,
Yeah.
but
I kind of I a little bit like what Netflix has been doing with some shows where, like Stranger Things is almost a good example. If you finish season 4, volume 1, which is up there right now, volume 2 comes out in July.
yes, I like that.
Which is great.
Yeah,
I like that too. Or like some shows, they'll split and they'll do they'll do 6 episodes in the fall and 6 episodes in the spring, and then you don't have to wait a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I'm fine with that. They pump out like 7, 8, 6, 7 episodes, and then a few months later the other one. I mean, I think they did that with The Ranch. I think Orange is the New Black. Like I think that works because now you're not waiting an entire year for a new season, but it does give you a break. In between show that. So I do like that idea. But Miss Marvel #1 is available at CarterComics.com. It's available for $40. So you can put it in your cart and buy it for $40 right now. Or you can use a special promo code FREAKNET, that's FREAKNET.com, and you can save yourself 10%. So really, this $40 comic, $36. I did the math. It checks out. But I know what you're thinking. Travis, see, I don't want to buy my comics outright. I want to fight for them. I want to avenge for them. I want a self-justification of murder for them. Or whatever.
Yeah.
If you want to go on a bidding war for your comics instead of just buying them outright because you're a monster and you want the sense of like, oh God, maybe I won't get it. Whatever. Carter Comics has 4 different eBay accounts that you could scroll through and make bids on. Hell, you could just make negotiations for comics or buy them outright there too if you want. Go to their homepage on CarterComics.com, scroll to the bottom. You'll see 4 links to 4 different eBay accounts. Check them all out. If for some reason you can't seem to find a comic you are looking for, there's a good chance that they may have it in stock. It just hasn't been put out there yet by them. Reach out to them. Go to CarterComics.com. Go to the contact section. Write them, hey, I'm looking for a certain comic. Do you have it? Let them check their inventory. If they do have it, then they'll be able to hey, I got it. This is how much it is, blah, blah, blah. Make a deal with you. If they don't, then they'll see what they can do about locating it for you. Awesome people to work with. Very happy with them. C2E2 sounds more like a possibility more and more every day. So I'm super excited for that. I think that might be the end of the plug.
Nice.
CarterComics.com. FreakNet. Promo code. 10%. Yeah, that's it. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, while we're doing plugs, maybe you like comic books. Maybe you like regular books. Maybe you're into nonfiction. But you don't have time to sit down and use your eyeballs to read it. If that's the case, you should go over to audibletrial.com/freaknet and sign up for a free trial of Audible. You'll get a free 30 days to try out all their best products, like their new podcasts that they do, their new short stories that they do, and you'll get a free credit towards your first audiobook purchase. So maybe you want to check out The Sandman, new show that's launching on Netflix soon from Neil Gaiman. It's based on a book that he wrote. Head over to audibletrial.com/freaknet and you can listen to it. Probably there's even a full cast reading. I don't know. I know that it exists for other books, and it's like listening to a radio play. It's incredible. It's a great way to enjoy a fiction story. Head over to audibletrial.com/freaknet and sign up for a free trial today.
Nice. Good job, Joe. See, yours is more structured, and that's what I like about you. You keep me grounded.
I try.
Right.
Try.
I know it's difficult sometimes, but you do it.
It's all about balance.
That's what we do. We gotta keep the scales balanced.
Yep.
I mean, if it was up to me, I don't know if we'd ever stop talking. We'd just been jabbering. I don't know, jabberdin's a word, but now it is.
I'm allowing it.
Excellent. All right, Joe. Let's dive into things we want to bring back.
Yes. Who goes first?
I can go first. That's fine.
Okay.
Mine's a little bit. Well, mine's gonna be a little bit different than the structure of how we're supposed to be doing things for this segment. About things that are gone and we want to be brought back. I'm gonna do a different twist on it, just because I like to spice things up.
Yeah.
I think fair enough. What I want to do is I want to talk about something that is currently here that is being discussed being removed. That I think they should halt that idea.
All right.
So it's not so much bringing something back. It's more like keeping it freaking here.
Okay.
And I guess in a sense, it is something that was recently brought back. But the Taco Bell pizza.
All right.
There's rumor and discussion. There's rumor and discussion that they may be pulling the Taco Bell Mexican pizza again. For no reason whatsoever.
Crazy.
Yeah. No reason whatsoever. I mean, I know some people are like, wow, it really does taste different. I'm like, well, it's been a while since the Mexican pizza has been around, so maybe there is a difference in taste, maybe there's not. I mean, realistically, every ingredient that the Mexican pizza has, it's continuously there at Taco Bell. It's not like they had to bring back a new product in order to make the Mexican pizza. The tostada shells are there, the red sauce is there, the beans are there, the meat's there, the cheese is there. Everything's exactly the same. So, yeah. I think as far as taste-wise, I really don't see it being a difference in taste. But they just come around and say, it may be gone again. And it's like, why? Like, you brought it back. I think now you're just doing it to be a dick.
No. Well, I'm pretty sure that they did not anticipate how badly people wanted it. And so there was 7 times the demand that they expected.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, what world are you all living in, first of all, that's the case? Come on. Yeah, it was, the day it came out, I went over to Taco Bell and it was already sold out.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And you're right. It's like everything on their menu. They have all the ingredients to make anything that they've ever had, except probably the Bell Beefer.
The what?
Which, I think it was called the Bell Beefer, the Taco Bell Beefer, which was their version of a hamburger. It was basically a sloppy Joe.
Okay.
So I'm sure they don't have hamburger buns in their restaurant, so they can't do that one. But pretty much everything else they've ever made, you can get.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it's like realistically, when they sit there and say oh, I'm sorry, we're out of Mexican pizza. It's like, just tell me which ingredient you're out of.
Right.
And we can kind of move from there. Because I know, first off, there's no way you're out of beans or meat. There's no way you should be out of cheese, or else you're not going to be making tacos and burritos. So either you're out of just the tostadas, which is that's the case, make them on soft shell tortillas, that's fine. Or if you're out of the red sauce, okay, well then just make me the pizza without the fucking red sauce. Put some of that Chipotle sauce or the avocado sauce, which are both delicious sauces, by the way. Put that on it. I've been making a lot of. Have I told you about the tortilla pizzas in the air fryer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've been making a shit ton of those. So, I'm all on board with just fucking using tortillas to make little personalized pizzas going forward. So, Taco Bell, if they run out fucking tostada Christmas shits, then fine, fuck it, just make it on a soft shell. I don't care. I'm fine with it at that point. But there's no
Yeah.
way you should ever say it's like, oh, I'm sorry, we're sold out of Mexican pizzas. No. Which condiment are you fucking out of?
Right.
Which
Well,
topping do you not have?
My guess is they're out of the box it comes in.
Put in that fucking value pack carrier box. I don't give a shit.
Just fucking put it in my hand. I'm gonna eat it all right now anyway.
Right? Like, we're just
Save
gonna
the
slide
box,
it
save
right
the
now.
planet. Just give me a naked burrito or whatever.
But yeah, no, so I know it's a discussion. I hope to God they don't do it. I don't know if they're just doing it to just, make the demand even higher. Because, I mean, these fast food places know what they're doing when they do this shit. The McRib is a perfect example of it. The McRib is not some amazing, I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm chewing. I haven't eaten yet. I'm eating a fucking granola bar.
Nice.
But, God damn it, now my throat is dry. Hold on. Hold on. I'm also drinking Zip Fizz.
Ooh.
Which I love Zip Fizz, by the way. I recommend anyone drinking Zip Fizz. It's a natural energy drink. It's so good. McRib. It's not that delicious. It's literally rib meat, not ribs, but rib meat with onions and pickles. And then slathered in McDonald's fucking barbecue sauce.
Yes.
Not that great. But just because it's around once a year, it is the fucking God's gift to the world, to everyone who's a fast food person. You'll see cars lined up around McDonald's for hours the day that thing comes back out. Just because they know it's not going to be around forever. And I fear, not feel, but fear that Taco Bell is going to start being the same kind of asshole and doing the same thing. And the unfortunate part of it is, like, I think there was another article that talked about, like, how Taco Bell is going to start getting rid of other things on their menu, too. But I think a lot of fast food places are starting to do it, too. They're starting to minimize their menus and stuff for specialty stuff. I think Burger King was one of those, too, where they're discussing, like, getting rid of some of the lesser purchased things and stuff like that, to shrink down the menu. Which, hey, you know what? It's your business. Do what the fuck you feel like. But I know, like, when I feel like I want to, get through a drive-thru real quick and get some, like, cheddar jalapeno poppers and stuff from Burger King. If you decide to take that off the menu, then fine. I guess I'll just go down the street to fucking Arby's instead, because they also carry mozzarella sticks that you apparently also want to take off your fucking menu.
Right.
It's goofy. I think it's stupid. They literally just had this thing back for a couple of months. Just tell everyone, hey, listen, we're going to have to pull it temporarily, get our shit together, we'll be back with it. But no, you're just like, I think we're done. Fuck you, Taco Bell. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
Can I throw an idea out for you for next year's segment idea?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Can we just call it, like, get your shit together, and we just bitch about something in the world that's fucked up? I'm going to make a note about that. Because I noticed, like, a lot of times we do say that, and it's just funny when you just end it with, get your shit together. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write this. But, Joe, what do you want to freaking bring back?
Well, here's the thing, and I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I want to bring back, so I know that there are handheld consoles that exist still. The Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation, what do they call it? Is it a Vita now?
Yeah.
Like
VITA. It's kind of like that granola bar.
Yeah. I know there's stuff out there. You can play games on your phone now. They got things through Amazon and Google Stadium where you can play on your iPad or whatever tablet you're using. But you know what I really, honest to God, miss is a friggin' Game Boy. Something that can fit in my pocket comfortably, that I can take out and play when I'm bored, riding a train or waiting for an appointment at the doctor's office or whatever, that isn't obnoxious and enormous and doesn't hurt my eyes because the screen's too bright. I want a Game Boy. I honestly, it's the weirdest thing. For years, I was waiting for the 2DS XL.
Yeah.
Because I liked the way that the 3DS could fold. and had the 2 screens and stuff. And I didn't love the way the 2-dimensional version was, where it didn't fold. And I always said that I would get it as soon as they made it like the 3DS. And of course, literally like a month after they release it, they canceled the whole line.
Yeah.
You can't buy it anywhere. You can't get it. Or if you do find it, it costs as much as a Nintendo Switch. At which point, it's like, just get the fucking Switch.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's just there are certain things that should cost certain things, and a Game Boy should not cost $350. And so I really
it blows my fucking mind how something like that could cost that much money, and yet you get an entire console for like $400 or $500.
Yes, exactly. So I would like I'd like a Game Boy back,
Gotcha.
just a handheld that fits in my pocket and is plays all the old games I still have.
Gotcha. All right, I'm going to tell you something about what you just said that I really controlled my laughter on, and I feel proud of myself. And then I'm going to tell you a story about Game Boys. There was a portion inside your discussion about your love of Game Boys that if I literally clipped out would be like the best like TikTok thing in the fucking world. Where literally there was a point where you just said, I just want something in my pocket that I could pull out and play with whenever I want, even if it's on a train, something that won't hurt my eyes.
Amazing.
Right? I was like, oh my God, that could be an amazing clip. But beyond that, I understand exactly what you're talking about as far as Game Boys, because I don't know if you ever had like a kind of friend, like I had a friend. I don't know if you ever had this type of friend who, whenever something new came out, they got the new thing. So, I had a friend of mine, Derek. You know Derek. I won't say every time something came out, but when something new came out, he always got the new updated thing. So Derek had a Game Boy Color. It was the yellow one or whatever it was.
Yep. The Pikachu version or just the yellow?
Yes, the Pikachu one. Yeah,
gotcha.
Because they also had like the Pokemon yellow game cartridge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he had that, but then he got Game Boy Advance when that came out.
Mm-hmm.
So while he was playing his Game Boy Advance, his Game Boy Color was just sitting there, and I was like, hey, you mind if I play it? And he's like, yeah, sure. I borrowed that thing for like a year. Because it was the most amazing fucking thing. Because before that, the only handheld game system I had was this big ass black brick thing. I can't remember what it's Sega, but I couldn't remember what it was fucking called.
Oh my God! Not even like the Dreamcast, because that would have been like a gray.
Yeah, no, this thing was big. It was
like
black.
The original Sega.
Yeah, I loved it because when my mom and dad got divorced and everything, I talked about this on the show a number of times. My mom worked 3 jobs to do whatever she could to make us fucking happy. Yeah. To get us the fucking world the best she fucking could. So, when we talk about like, Brett and Derek have this, Brett and Derek have that, I'm sure it bothered my mom to a sense.
Yeah.
But she went to a garage sale and for like $15 bought this big ass fucking, I can't remember what it was fucking called, but it was the size of a fucking brick, Sega Game Boy thing that you just held in your hand and played. The screen was right in the middle. The controls were on opposite sides. You put the cartridges in like Mortal Kombat and all this other goofy shit. Fucking phenomenal thing. And to us, like regardless of how old it may have been when we first got it, it was amazing because we had it. And obviously we all had to share it, whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So when Derek got his Game Boy Advance and I got to use his Game Boy Color, Nick, played the Sega more often. I just sat around. I just played Pokemon Yellow for a year. Collected, I don't know, I think like 85% of the available Pokemon. I know there were a couple of them where you had to like link up and trade in order to evolve them and stuff that. So, I mean, obviously I never did that shit. And for the longest time, I wanted that shit back. Even now, 33 years old, I love that shit. I mean, I found there was an app on my last phone. I can't find the app anymore because as soon as I got a new phone, it went away. But I was able to get Pokemon Yellow on my fucking phone and play it through an app as if it was Game Boy Color. But nostalgia is always going to be there. So I understand exactly what you're talking about. And I would love a Game Boy Color right now only if they keep the original graphics. I don't want updated graphics. I want that old. I want the old graphics. I want that. As you're standing from behind this fucking squared out pixelated, you're like, is that Ash Ketchum or is that fucking Mario? You don't know because it's just pixels. That's what I want. That's what I'm on board with you 100% if that's what we're going for.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what I want. Sidebar, I'm sending you a picture in the chat. Was it the Sega Genesis? I sent you the picture of it.
So that isn't a handheld console.
Oh, it was a handheld. I misunderstood that when you were saying it.
Oh yeah, no. No. We had a Sega Genesis at my dad's. No, this thing like came in like a backpack, kind of like not backpack, but like a big fucking carrying case and shit. Like no, this was like a handheld, like big brick fucking black fucking gaming system. Like I just like I can't remember what it's called, but I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure somebody
Game Gear maybe.
Maybe. I mean, how big is a Game Gear?
I don't know. They don't have bananas next to these pictures, so I can't guess.
Well, hell, bro.
This looks big and black.
Again, man, are you really talking about gaming right now?
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? It might be. Yeah. No. Yep, it is. Yep, it's Game Gear.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's some good, it's crazy how expensive they are, considering how long it's been since they existed.
Man,
I wonder $100 for that doesn't seem too terrible.
I think we sold down a garage though. Man, if I would have kept it, I mean, shit. There's a Game Gear unopened for $6,000.
Holy mackerel.
No one's ever gonna buy that.
No.
But yeah, no, I think this is exactly what it is, and it came with like, I think it was like maybe 4 or 5 games we had. I think, I know Mortal Kombat was definitely one of them. Sonic was one. Nice. I think there was an X-Men one. It was a lot of fun, and like, you know, I know like at least if my mom saw that we were happy, then that's all that mattered and everything. But it was really fun and cool. The thing that sucked was like that thing drained batteries like you wouldn't fucking believe.
Oh, I bet. Oh man.
So. But luckily, the purse that it came in was able to like carry more, so many batteries with it. We didn't have to worry about it.
Thing, I can't remember which birthday it was, but my parents got the what they actually got me was a Game Boy Pocket. Okay. So it's the same body style as the Game Boy Color, but it didn't do color yet. And I for whatever reason, I think I was young enough that it was just like, well, bigger is better. And somebody else for this, like around the same time, had been given the original Game Boy, the big thick boy with the gray and the blue buttons. Mm-hmm. And so I traded that one for the original Game Boy. But then it came with this carrying case that you could fit like I think 30 game cartridges in, and also carry your batteries around and stuff.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking
about. Really a wonderful, wonderful birthday present. I don't know. Still makes me happy thinking about it. It makes me sad that I gave it up. I don't know what happened to it. I'm guessing it probably got sold in a garage sale also.
You should reach out to the person you traded with and be like, hey, I want my Game Boy back.
Yeah. Well, she lives in Brazil. And probably doesn't have it anymore.
Well, if she's in Brazil, then more likely she's probably doing like some like great community thing. So yeah, I guess you can't really like, demand back a Game Boy now. She probably gave it to like some like fucking villager or some shit.
Maybe or kids.
Yeah, but no, that's a great one, Joe. I actually agree 100% with you. I need that nostalgia back. I absolutely love it. Mm-hmm. So let me talk about my biggest fear.
Yeah,
I want to talk about like this was like I've never. There were times in my life where I thought I had epiphanies or like an aha moment.
Yeah,
but up until 2 days ago. I know that was never true. There was never like an aha. Like there was like a small realization, like, oh yeah, kind of interesting. But this is like a total epiphany fucking moment. And I don't know how this is going to affect my future in anything, relationship wise, job wise, whatever. But this is something I realized when it comes to me and any opportunity of a potential failure. I don't know, how do I fucking word this? I guess the short of it is like, I put myself in situations knowing that there's not a lot of risk for me to be at fault if I fail.
Yeah.
If that makes any kind of sense. Like,
Yeah.
like jobs. I worked at a company and I got fired from them. I'm going back to that same, I'm at that same company.
Right.
I'm sticking with that company. Because, and I guess realistically in my mind, and I never thought about it this way until a couple of days ago, but in my mind, I think to myself, listen, if I stay with this company and it works out, great. I succeeded. I did more than I thought I could do. If I fail, it's on them for firing me again.
Yeah.
Not because of anything. If it's something I did, then hey, whatever. But if they decide to let me go, decide to lay me off or whatever it is, I didn't fail. They failed me.
Right.
Relationships. I've had great relationships with great people, and I'm not saying that anybody's at fault whatsoever. Honestly, no, I lied. I'm at fault. I can admit that now because I thought about it a lot more. Other than two relationships I've been in, Jenna and Crystal. I'll say their names because I don't care. It's been long enough. There's a statute of limitation on how long you can't talk about a relationship or whatever.
Yeah.
Other than Jenna and Crystal, actually, no, it's like Crystal's involved in this too. Just Jenna. Other than Jenna, every relationship I was in was a mistake. I wish it wasn't. I wish with Crystal, that was an honest to God, fair chance, great relationship. Because I had strong feelings for her, and I really wanted it to work out, but in my mind, I knew it wouldn't fucking work out. Because of the situation our relationship was in. But I dated shitbag fucking people. Had relations with shitbag fucking people because I know I'm such a nice guy that if it fails because of them, and people would know that. Like, this person's a fucking cheater. Why would you even date him? You're right. I don't know what I was thinking. But you know what? Fuck them anyways. Because they're the ones that fucked up. You did nothing wrong. It's them who fucked up.
Right.
Same thing with jobs. Oh, well, they laid you off? Fuck it. You know, opportunities to go somewhere else, but I decided to stick around because, hey, why take the risk? Why take the risk of going somewhere else if I could just stay right here knowing that if it fails because of their end, not mine.
Right.
This stuff with the podcast. You know, like, we have all these ideas about doing all this stuff. But there's always that idea of, like, okay, yeah, we do so much and we grow a little bit. You know, we get good downloads on shows, good downloads on videos. We could do more. We could definitely do more. We might be able to grow our content and everything. But the fear of it not happening, is that on us or is that on the aspect of we missed the boat on the growth of social media? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it was weird because, like, I don't know what made me think about it. I just know that when I was driving to work Monday morning, this clicked into my head. No, it's like Tuesday morning, yesterday morning. It just clicked in my head. I'm like, you know, I put myself in a lot of situations where I don't accept, you know, blame for shit. But I guess realistically, it's never really my fault. So you know, why would I take blame for what? This is what was going on in my head. I'm not talking to you directly, but this is what's going on in my head.
Yeah.
I was like, I think like I was just sitting there driving. I don't know if I was listening to something or I was just pondering something. I was like, you know what? Like, a lot of shit happened in my life that never really my fault. It's like, well, I guess I never really put myself in a situation to, you know, fail or put blame on myself. And I was like, I think I'm starting to do that intentionally. And then it dawned on me, like, yeah, 100%. A lot of my fucking jobs, there was nowhere to succeed in those. There was no advancement there was no opportunities in those fucking jobs. There was no way Sears. I was a 19-year-old kid with a few years of warehouse experience, no college degree whatsoever, who constantly called off sick. You know, I was like 2 call-offs away from being fucking fired, but I applied to be a supervisor, and I didn't get it, and that was their fault. because they decided to hire the guy with the college degree instead of the guy who had the warehouse experience. No whatsoever. That was on me because I just called off 10, 12 times in a 9-month period because I wanted an extra week, an extra day, an extended weekend and shit.
Yeah.
But I put the blame on fucking Sears. Cleveland Steel. I probably could have busted my ass a lot more, but my fucking hands were hurting. I couldn't work on the fucking dock. I wanted the job that I applied for. Oh, It doesn't work out? Well, that's on them because they didn't give me what I promised. No, that was on me for walking away from a job because it was a fucking job that I just didn't feel like doing. I mean, there's certain moments in my life where I had to go back and look at it. I'm like, is this really the blame of the other person or is it me? Now, to girlfriends, yes. All of them 100%. They're assholes. The only mistake I made is trying to attempt to have an opportunity, which I still did currently. There are still girls who I've had crushes on and I had an interest in that if I sit back now and realize, I'm like, that would have been the worst fucking mistake possible. Because deep down, I know the kind of person that was. I know it wouldn't have fucking lasted. And yet I still tried because, hey, if it fails, they're the assholes. But maybe I'm the asshole for just even trying it knowing that it'll fucking fail. It's like, so give me your thoughts. Am I crazy, Joe?
I don't think you're crazy, but I do think you're being too hard on yourself. I think it's an important thing to recognize one's own responsibility for things. And I think that's a good step that you're taking in doing that. But I also think that, if you apply for the Cleveland Steel, for example, you just brought up, if you apply for one thing and they don't hire you for the thing you applied for, there is some responsibility on their side for not putting you in this position that you applied for. Of course you're not going to fucking stick around. You didn't apply for the job that they gave you.
Yeah.
And if they're not going to work with you to try and get you into something that you're want to do, well, why should you stick around?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe in some ways, what it sounds like to me, what I hear is what you're actually afraid of is being responsible for your own failure.
Yes, that's 100% what it is, man. I just know that I put myself in situations in my mind where I think to myself, if it falls apart, it's not on me. It's somebody else that caused this to go bad, but it's not on me. I'm not causing my life to fucking fail. My boss is, my ex-girlfriend is, anybody else. It's everyone else's fault but me. But it's because I'm putting myself in that situation.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to take the responsibility for what you're responsible for, but no more than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe, maybe it's not 50-50. Maybe there are situations you're putting yourself in where it's 70-30 or even maybe 80-20. But I think overall, I don't know. I think it's good to recognize that that's what you're afraid of.
Yeah.
That's how we grow, right? Now you can work on that. You can start putting yourself in situations where it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna fight for what I actually want out of this, and I'm gonna do the right things to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's exactly what I think that's where I'm going to start is, the idea of working on it. Realizing, I mean, it's like anybody else who has a problem, and I'm not, per example, drug addicts, alcoholics, gamblers. I'm not saying I'm in the same level as them, but in the sense of when you realize what a problem is, you got to figure out how to attack it and succeed from it. Yeah. I realize that, I sometimes I have a fear of trying because I don't want to fail, because I don't want it to be on me. Yeah. I know a small part of that is because I like how people perceive who I am. Yeah. I like how when people can look at me, they know exactly what kind of person I am. I'm an honest person. I will be real with you. and I bust my ass to just have what I have.
Yeah.
I put the effort in that I put in. I don't want somebody to look at me and be like, well, he could have tried harder. Well, he could have put in more of an effort. No, it's in my mind, I'd rather just be like, Travis got fucked. Screw them for doing what they did to Travis.
Right.
But I guess I do that to me. And I need to fix that. And there's a step forward on how I need to do that. Maybe I need to learn, to maybe take more risk in life and say, hey, listen, maybe I need to push and try for that job and shit. I know my grandma's been badgering me, for decades. Not decades. Yeah, decades. You really should, not 1 decade. A decade and a half. You should really move out of your town. Fine. Maybe a small part of that is maybe I just don't want to leave this town because maybe I'll fail going somewhere else. Deep down, I like living in Peatone. I like living in small towns. If I moved from Peatone, I'd probably just end up in another small fucking town.
Right.
I'm not going to move to the city. We had that conversation.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and there's plenty of opportunity thanks to the internet. There's plenty of opportunity no matter where you live.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. So it's going to be.
So depending on what you want to do, obviously, you're not going to get a good acting gig, living in Peatone. But
if I was able to enunciate better, if I didn't have such a problem with my own voice, maybe I would have tried these. I think there's like a website where you can click on being like a backdrop fucking whatever they're called. Not a supported actor. Who's the people that just walk around the back of a movie scene? Extra. I think there's a website where it's you're like, hey,
I got an uncle who's an extra. That's what he does for work now.
Like you have an uncle or we have an uncle?
I have. That's my mom's stepbrother.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah. If I didn't have such an issue with my own voice, I probably would go on attempt to do that. But I guess I guess as an extra, I really wouldn't talk.
Right.
But if I succeed, eventually I am going to want to talk. And I just assume in my mind, okay, well, you're way too old to be the fat, awkward high school friend. So you're probably just going to end up being some weird fat neighbor who ends up fucking dying in every scene that they have to fucking cut the wall out in order to get you out of the building. I'm just saying, maybe, but yeah.
I don't know. You can get to the point though where you're. I'm not. Obviously this isn't I imagine it's not the actual dream, but there's always the chance you could be the next John Goodman.
God, John Goodman's so good. Yeah, right. Or John Candy. I'd go more John Candy.
Yeah, John Candy. The world needs a John Candy.
The world does need a John Candy. I have an account on a certain person's streaming service that I literally put on there, poor man's John Candy. Fucking love. Nice. I love John Candy. I'm all on board being a fucking John Candy. An Uncle Buck type John Candy.
I do think it's fair to say, I have felt sometimes. You're so ambitious, and you're so earnest, and you're not dumb.
No.
You're a pretty smart guy. Maybe not. I would argue. Well, you'd probably argue to me, not book smart, but you've got a good feel for people. I think. And you've got a good head on your shoulders. You're good at making decisions. I think.
Yes.
By and large, and so I do. And this is I'm a very ambitious person, and I like to surround myself with ambitious people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand a lack of ambition. I struggle with it.
Yeah.
I do definitely see where you do sell yourself short sometimes, and choose things that are the safe option instead of the unsafe option. But also, we live in a world, and you've been in a situation where you can't realistically choose the unsafe option most of the time because you got to eat, you got to feed your dog, and you got to keep your house.
Yeah. No,
it's hard to take risks when you have those things.
100%. Yeah. And that's the thing. Is that's the mindset
and I sure as shit wouldn't move right now with a friggin', what's the interest rate you're paying on your mortgage?
4.25.
Yeah. I think it's up to 6% in some places.
Yeah.
That was a terrible time to move.
Oh yeah. No, if I move, I'd end up in a camper.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Moving sucks. But the thing is, I don't know if I could, no matter what my ambition is, even if I became famous, I think I'd still have like a home in fucking Peatone. It'd probably be more out into the country and secluded, but it's just like, it's like I'm a very big fan of roots and knowing where you came from.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What do you think I said? Oh, you think I thought I was talking about the movie Roots?
No, I thought you said boobs, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Boobs?
Yeah, I mean, who isn't? But that's what I was like. I misheard you. Just
I am a huge fan of boobs.
I was like, what does that have to do with anything? And then I was like, oh, roots.
Roots.
That makes more sense.
Roots. Yeah. See, I can't enunciate. I'll be on fucking, I could be in a fucking movie scene where I'm supposed to talk about the roots of a plant, and all of a sudden I'm talking about fucking tree titties or some shit. You know? But and
wives.
But yeah, it's one of the things where like everything in my life, I need to find a way to kind of restructure everything I do. I'm on as far as my career goes, I'm going to be at Intertech. It's just a fact. Yeah. I don't know if I ever said the name. I don't care, whatever. I'm going to be at Intertech. I'm going to do the absolute best I can to make that work.
Nice.
I did it between 12 and 17 before I got let go. I've done it since 2020 till now, fucking killing myself at the refinery and shit, doing shit that's not even my job technically anymore, just because the people they hired aren't quite ready to take the responsibility for themselves. But hopefully that changes by the end of this month. It was supposed to be this week. But hopefully by the end of this month, I can officially be out of there. I can go to a Monday through Friday normal job. And at that point, I really want to focus on finding ways to make my life better. Career-wise, Intertech is going to be my thing. And if that fails, then hey, so be it. I will find another job and I'll keep moving forward in my life on that. This podcast, Freakin Studios, it's something that we started 3 years ago.
Has it only been 3 years?
2019, yeah.
Oh, Freakin Studios. Sorry, I was thinking about the whole podcast.
Oh no, our podcast.
No way.
No. Our podcast. We're going on 7 years with this podcast.
That's what I thought. I thought. So
yeah, but Freakin Studios is that it was the expansion of what we were doing here.
Yeah.
That we started back in 2019. That I think that with what my work schedule is going to become, what your work schedule is, I really do believe that we could pump out some pretty decent content and grow what we have here. Mm-hmm. I know, as soon as I'm done out at the refinery and I get that week off following that, I know we're discussing the vlog, doing the cemetery stuff.
Yep.
And like I said, as of right now, I don't know. I think we talked about the vlog on here, but I have a list of 13 cemeteries that I would love to hit.
Nice.
Again,
it's up to 13 now. I thought it was 12.
No, it's 13.
Excellent. We should try to do all 13. That's a good number for Halloween.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. I looked it out and I figured it out. If we could do all 13, which there is one cemetery that is on private property that we have to find out who owns it and who we need to ask to go into it. Every other cemetery is a public cemetery, but there's one cemetery that's a private cemetery, and it's the one that I want to do the second most out of all of them, because there's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be like witch seance that's happening there, and it's supposed to be like this double plant that's growing on one of the grave sites that is grown out into like a trident.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's one that I want to look into. I had the list. Did I send you the list of them?
I don't remember.
If I didn't, I'll send it over to you. I printed it out, but there's 13 of them. And in my mind, I'm thinking if we could make it a 2-day thing, 6 of them are from here down to Indianapolis. 7 of them are from Indianapolis back up. It's like we'd be doing like a U shape, pretty much. If we could figure out a way to do a 2-day thing, we could crash in Indianapolis, or I don't know how far Lafayette's from Indy. I don't really know, but crash over at Mike.
It's like an hour.
House. Yeah. So even if we crashed over at Mike or Houston's house for like the night or something like that, we could do all 13. And if we did that, so if we did the 13 and we released one, if we released October, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, there's 4 weeks. There's 4 weeks in October, so we'd do 3 a week. That would give us 12. October 31st is a Monday.
Yeah, it is.
So we would release our 13th episode on the day of Halloween.
Dope.
So if we could do that, I think it'd be perfect. And we do so well with these cemetery vlogs. Out of all the videos we've done, the cemetery vlog ones are the ones that we do the best on.
Yeah.
And I want to do more of those, like not even just the cemetery stuff, but like to do on location stuff like that. Like I would love to, like if again, a lot of this is, pandemic wise, who's going to allow us to go into their establishments, shit like that. But like dive bars and like hole in the wall restaurants,
Hell yeah.
There was one thing I did want to talk about on this episode today, but we're not going to get to it because we're kind of running out of time here. But
yeah,
like historic buildings and shit. Like I want to do more shit like that because I think people be interested, and we could, you start like just like the cemetery vlogs. You start in Illinois, expand your way out. We did Illinois back in 2020. We did back in 2020. Now we're doing Indiana. Who knows? Maybe next year we do Wisconsin, or Michigan, something like that. It's just like, it's all about growth. And I think that we have the capability of doing that because you're a very intelligent guy and I'm kind of smart. So it's like I know we could do this shit. Like I know.
Absolutely.
No, I know we can make this fucking great.
Yeah.
And I believe if I put the right people in my life, which I think I've been doing a pretty good job at, like having the right people, I could probably like uplift myself out of this, this protective bubble I put myself in to finally expand out and do more shit and being willing to accept failure when it fucking happens, not to expect it, but anticipate if it fucking happens, because not everything's going to succeed. It just won't. Look at Pretty Little Freaks. Failed. And I put that on the fucking girls that it failed. It wasn't. It was on me. Every other people, I don't want to say everyone else, but other people wanted to blame, oh, well, it was Low. Oh, no, it was Jordan. No, it wasn't. It was me. I just randomly went out and said, hey, you want to do a podcast? Yeah. Another one said, hey, this person do a podcast. Cool. We're just going to shove you two together and hopefully it fucking works out. That's on me. I will admit it right here on this episode. Pretty Little Freaks failed because of me. I just threw some shit together and said, hey, let's fucking do it instead of taking my time. Now, I do still believe that a podcast like Pretty Little Freaks will fucking work. Which, first off, I realized that I fucking hate the title Pretty Little Freaks. And I realized that months ago. First off, that one wasn't my idea.
Fair.
Didn't fucking like it. I wanted something else. I can't remember what I wanted it to be called. But I hate the fact that it's called, I hate the title Pretty Little Freaks. I don't know who came up with it. I don't know if it was Sarge or Lowell or Jordan, whoever. If you guys are listening to this, if you were the ones who thought the title Pretty Little Freaks was good, you're wrong because you just ripped off Pretty Little Liars. So, not a big fan of that. So I really want to relaunch that concept under a different name with different people. But it's something that I'm going to take time with and find the right way to do it. Because I do think the concept was pretty great.
Yeah.
So, plus, again, same reason I gave before. I think it's a different, I don't know, what's the word, demographic. It's a different demographic I don't think we quite connect with here. It's like, it's a focal point on women who just want to hear about other bad relationships and who fucking doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to fucking work out. I think Freakin Studios is going to, we have the opportunities here. I talked to fucking Dr. Doug at work yesterday about all this shit. And he kind of opened my eyes to it. He's like, I want you to succeed. I want you to be able to, to have an opportunity to make what you do on the podcast, what you do podcasting and videos, I want you to be able to make that your income.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, in a perfect world, that'd be fucking great. But it has to be growth. And he's like, then grow. Do something. It's like, thank you, Dr. Doug. Not a real doctor, but thank you, Dr. Doug. Yeah. He's right. It's like we have the ability to fucking grow. We just keep speed bumping ourselves. And I think I think I do that a lot to myself. I think I do that a lot to us. So I'm going to work on that. If it felt like I've been holding this back, Joe, I'm sorry. Wasn't my
I haven't felt
intention.
that at all.
So
I was actually saying that I was saying to Maddie on the way to work this morning that I feel like between the podcasts I do, this is the one that's most likely to succeed because you actually want to make it your career.
yeah, I think it's something like, and honestly, yes, I do think like maybe we did miss a boat on social media growth. I think we did miss it, but it doesn't mean there's not going to be another fucking wave. It comes and goes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
as long as we keep growing, eventually we're going to hit that next wave, and then that's where everything will fucking shoot off. There's so much shit that we could do. And we can talk more about that, off air on like some of the ideas that I think would be great to do. Because I don't want to chatter about it all like on this episode, but growth I think is going to happen. Freaknet Studios is going to fucking grow. JFW is going to fucking grow. Come in July, that's going to fucking go full bore again. I think we've been doing great on this show, doing week to week. I know last year we missed a huge chunk of it. The year before that, it's like we kept missing chunks of the year. I think right now, I think we're one, I don't know how, but I think we're one episode behind, in this year. Cause I think we do 50 a year. I think if we keep track now, I think we only got 49. So we can hit 50. We can do 50 this year. It's 100% possible. So I think it's going to grow. And the thing is, I don't want it to grow just for me. I want it to grow for all of us. I want to have an opportunity to where one fucking day we all are showing up for work at, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., whatever the fuck it is, that we're all showing up to work at Freaknet Studios, the fucking building itself where we record our podcast, where we shoot our video content. Like we have fucking offices or a conference room and shit. Like the ability to actually like I want that to be our dream, not my dream. Like I want to be able to say like this is an actual company. Like this is how we make our living.
Yeah.
And I think collectively, if we work together on it, I think we could achieve that shit. I honestly do believe that.
I think so too.
Yeah. But speaking of podcasts, because normally we always give GCL a plug here, but I want to do something a little bit different on this episode because I found something out that I didn't know.
Oh yeah.
Talk about this new format you guys have.
The new format. Oh, the Too Long Didn't Listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was just GCR just had this idea all of a sudden. So we end up a lot of times before we start the show, just like you and I do. Mm-hmm. We end up chatting and kind of warming up and telling jokes and telling stories and stuff that don't make it into our regular show.
Yeah.
And then we also have moments in our regular show where, like, for 20 minutes, it doesn't have anything to do with what we planned, but it made us all laugh really hard. Mm-hmm. And so what he'll do is while he's doing the edit, he'll take those 20-minute chunks and he separates them out and makes it into its own episode now. Basically what it is like, instead of listening to a whole, 1 hour or 1.5 hour episode, it's like a 20-minute, I didn't listen to the whole show, but here's the part that was really funny to me, that we want to share with our listeners. So, basically it's just, an additional way of putting out our own content.
And that's free. Like, it's not like a Patreon thing in order to
correct,
that.
Correct. Yeah, it's free.
So in a way, Geekcast Live, GCL, you guys do 2 episodes a week now. In that sense.
Yeah, and sometimes, I know in the last episode that we recorded, the last full episode, I think he said he got 3 of the TLDLs out of it. So we did 4 episodes last week because of that.
And how long are they? 20 minutes?
Yeah, just short. I think 15 to 20 minutes is his goal.
Gotcha. And where do you find all that?
You can find it over at violentpress.com is our website, or any of the podcast catchers you might go to, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, wherever it is you listen to podcasts.
Awesome. And I know it's been a while, but you want to remind everyone what Violent Press is?
So Violent Press is our, it originally started as our new website. Because it's mildly exciting to me.
Yeah.
so forever ago, when we first started the podcast, I think it was 8 years ago now, 9 years ago. We started out at geekcastlivepodcast.com/podcast because that's what we were told we had to do. And then at some point we found out that we could purchase the domain name gcl.ninja, which we did because it just made us laugh. And then there was an update that caused us to no longer be able to access that website at all. Well,
now you had to purchase that though, right?
What's that?
You had to purchase gcl.ninja.
Yeah, and we still own it. We still own gcl.ninja. We still own geekharder.com. We still own geekcastlivepodcast.com. And you can now go to any of those websites. They're back. Something happened where they exist again. But because that had a problem, and because we were trying to branch out into comic books and other things, which have kind of stalled over the years, we decided to start a new website called violentpress.com, and so that's where you could find all of everything that Geekcast Live does. You can find over at violentpress.com. Right now, it's really only the podcast, but I believe that the GCR is getting ready to be his first full-length comic book is getting ready to be published through the guys over at waywardraven.com, who I think we maybe had on the show once on our show. But we've had them lots of times over at Geekcast Live. They do a lot of good comic books and stuff, but they're going to publish his first comic book, The Wrench, is going to feature in an anthology that they're producing later this year. And so I imagine that you'll be able to find a link to that on violentpress.com. And when we eventually start publishing our own comic books, that's where you'll be able to find it. And yeah, I don't know what else we'll plan to have over there, but basically everything that Geekcast Live wants to do, Violent Press is going to be there. Violent Press is our FreakNet Studios, is Geekcast Live's FreakNet Studios.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. That's really cool. Yeah, no, just, I mean, like, you always say Violent Press, but it's called Geekcast Live. I want people to really know that you guys are doing so much more outside of podcasting. Like, we, do so much more than just podcasting. That's why we have FreakNet Studios on YouTube and stuff like that. Like, I'm surprised you guys don't have a YouTube page. I don't know if that's just because the distance that you all live from each other, kind of like how we are or whatever, but.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Although it's something that's in the works. The biggest problem is not all of us have webcams at the same time.
Yeah,
and so we're trying to figure that out and what we want to do. I know GCR and Rob Bass both have those Oculus Quest virtual reality glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they'd really like to do, but like I can't justify a $400 expense, and neither can Nico.
Yeah.
Is they've got that thing where you can like watch a movie together in a theater.
Cool.
We'd love to do like a commentary track using that. So, but $400 is a lot of money.
Yeah. Is it kind of like that? Okay, what the fuck is that goofy ass show?
Oh, MST3K, Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think that's the idea.
Gotcha.
And we'd be able to all watch it in the same virtual theater together, which would be fun.
Gotcha.
But
we'll have to.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll have to get a hold of GCR and we'll have him. We'll have him on the show and interview him about his book.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Right? I mean, we have so many comic creators on this show. It'd be cool to have a relative come on.
Right.
And it's been I think it's been about 4 years, 5 years since GCR has been on. So
yeah.
Nico's the only one who hasn't been on. I mean, we had Rob Bass on before talking about Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, anyway, it was cool to have GCR back on. He still owes me a shot of Malort, which I think realistically, you guys drink so much of it now, it's almost a norm and not as fun, but.
I know. I bring it everywhere I go just to annoy people.
What are you freaking thinking about?
What am I freaking thinking about? Well, we talked about this a little bit before the show. I'm freaking thinking about my electric bike that was supposed to be here 2 weeks ago. Which, look, in some regard, I'm glad it wasn't here because it would have arrived when I was at my sickest with COVID. That being said, it's been 2 weeks past the date that I was supposed to be here. I'm kind of pissed, and it's still not going to be here for another week. So it's going to be a month late. But I'm still excited for it. I'm still looking forward to being able to ride my bike to the office. You know, it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it, but it's still just like, you know, why is it not here yet? And
Right. Well, yeah, because you even said, I mean, like you paid for it to arrive together at a certain date.
Yeah, exactly. I paid an extra, I think, I don't know, like $150, $200 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, the only reason I did it is because I got a good zero interest loan.
Yeah.
To cover it. You know, I was telling Matt, that's another thing I was saying to Matt today, is I really try not to spend more than I have unless I can get it for 0% interest. You know?
Makes sense. Yeah, that's fine. Perfect.
Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, and so I paid for it to arrive to me fully assembled, and they're not going to bring it for another week, and they're going to assemble it here. And, like, that's fine. It's stupid.
Yeah.
You know, like what, just bring it to me finished. I don't want to stand here and have to deal with some random stranger in my house building a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I got it.
But yeah, anyway, I'm excited for that. So what about you? What are you freaking thinking about?
Well, one of two things. I'm excited about one thing and kind of just like informative about the other. Before we recorded the show, I was talking to you about you know, the Christian rock music and stuff, about how, you know, which, you know, which is more nostalgic, you know, I can only imagine, or open my eyes. And I was talking to you about the movie about the Mercy Me lead singer, you know, I can only imagine, basically the movie that describes how he got to the point where he wrote his song. Mm-hmm. And I strongly encourage anybody to, it doesn't matter if, you know, if you just need like an inspirational movie to watch, because it is a very inspirational movie, to go watch it, you know, just something that's uplifting. It is a Christian-based movie. It is about God. It is about, you know, just kind of like getting past, you know, some hardships in life. It's a very good movie. But there's one of two movies I always want to watch, and it's either, I Can Only Imagine, or, The Resurrection of Gavin Stone. Which is, it's about a child actor who grows up, you know, gets into, you know, alcohol, shit like that, has to do community service, ends up back in his hometown. He does community service through, his church. And, while he's, you know, doing the community service, he finds out they're putting on a play. He ends up getting the role of Jesus. And they're both really good fucking movies. Like, I've never gotten like goosebumps or like a sense of peace that I've gotten out of literally anything else. And I mean, there's a lot of songs I listen to. Rattle by Elevation Worship is one of those like kind of like tingly, peaceful, goosebumpy fucking songs. Mm-hmm. And then these two movies. So like, I mean, like every time, no matter what, if I listen to, if any three of those things are happening, there's always going to be goosebumps, some kind of emotional feeling. And I love having that, like, because it's an uplifting fucking feeling.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
So I've been thinking about that a lot, about like, you know, like, again, like, and it kind of goes back to what we talked about in the last episode about, the girl on the dating app who questioned me as just a consumer, but it's so much more than that, because as soon as I get out of this goofy ass schedule that I'm in and I can be more consistent, I want to get back into church and I want to be more involved in stuff like that, you know, so I'm not just a consumer, whatever, but
right.
For my own peace of mind, like I just want to have that, you know, that camaraderie.
Yeah.
The social interaction with other people. So so that's what I've been thinking about, but also Infinite Monkey Games is going to get their proof back sometime tomorrow, I think, or actually maybe today. Yeah. Let's see here. They send it out to the editor to get completed. They're going to get the proof back. It should be today. They may do an unboxing video on Facebook about it. But there are also 4 pages in the writing a script for the pilot episode of a drama podcast based on a playtest campaign of Stellar Chaos.
I saw that.
So, I still want to get them on. I'm not sure if you got a hold of them yet.
But no, I haven't. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Totally cool. But they got a lot of shit going on, and I know like they're one of, if not the only guest that we had on this show that made it a 2-part episode. because we talked for, I think it was like 3 hours with them.
Yeah.
About Stellar Chaos and all the other things that they had going on, and we talked a little bit about board games and stuff, but, I think it's incredible. I mean, a lot of our guests that we have, I mean, a lot of them are doing so much. It's really cool. We just had Night Mage and Super Casey back on the show a couple episodes ago. We did a live with them. I think it's going to be, you have to agree on it in order for us to go with it going forward. But I would like to try to make guest appearances, live streams more consistently.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
Right? I think it's a lot fun to have their fans of their stuff involved in the show, during the episode and stuff. So I would like to start doing that more often. So I think we'll kind of consider doing that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things going on with a lot of people. I think Leslie Tom was actually in Chicago not too long ago, and I completely blanked on that. But yeah, I'm just excited for Infinite Monkey, So congrats to them. I know that book has been a long-awaited dream. So congrats to them, and I look forward to seeing that video if it does come out.
Outstanding.
Perfect. So, guys, we're going to wrap up the show. Thank you for listening. Make sure you check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at This Freakin' Show. Make sure you check out our YouTube page, Freakin' Studios, to check out the amazing videos we got. I still get compliments on the fish sandwich video from everybody except for Burger King, but if you watch the video, you'll understand why. And you can find our podcast wherever podcasts are dropped. Just check out iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, or anywhere else that podcasts are streaming. Just search This Freakin' Show. Subscribe to it. Leave a ranking, a review. And if you guys also really want to help us out and, help us in our growing process, tell your friends to follow us on social media. Invite your friends to our page. You could easily do that. Just invite all your friends. Find your friends list, click a select all, send it out to them, get them to like us. And what's also really cool that a lot of people don't do is you could comment on our podcast through Podbean. Podbean is there's a lot of interaction that you can do through there, so you can comment and like the shows and stuff like that through that as well. But you can also go to thisfreakinshow.com, go to the contact us section. If you're a creator and you want to come on the show and talk about whatever you want to talk about, if you're a cosplayer, a musician, a comic book creator, a movie creator, reach out to us on there. I do need to be more, involved in doing that, and I am. So I finally got the website updated. So that's a cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go to thisfreakinshow.com. You can find the contact section. If you're a creator, you want to come on the show, come do it. We're going to be growing, and you want to grow with us because we're cool like that. So that's all I got, guys. As always, I'm Travis.
Nah, I'm Cartoon Joe.
And thank you for listening to another episode of This Freakin' Show. I'm out.